Hey, you want to hear about this really cringy thing that I did? Let me start by saying I find myself to be hilarious. I am part comedian in my brain, and I love a good dad joke. I love a pun, and I know my wheelhouse. And I don't think most people would describe me as a comedian per se, but I have this like go to set of funny little quips that I'll do at photo sessions because I know they get a good response. Fart jokes kill, poop jokes kill, puns kill with dads and really like the thinker type of children. The ones who like I can just tell are like very thoughtful observers, the love a punny joke. Um, the fart and poop kills with everybody. It's gonna guarantee an eye roll from mom, but most everybody will giggle at those. But I also have just like these little funny little things I'll say, not because I mean them, but because I know that as soon as I say it, you're gonna give this response, and I'm here to take a photo of the response. So one of those things is this very funny thing I say whenever adult siblings are together, when we're taking a photo of brother and sister and they're in their 40s, it's an extended family photo session, and they're whole, got their arms around each other and they're laughing and having fun. I'll say to them like, okay, now will you look at each other? And then they look at each other, and it's like this funny little like, you're so dumb kind of moment, always, 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 always between siblings. And by the way, of any gender makeup, two of the same gender, opposite gender, doesn't matter. If it's a group of four, I'll still say like, okay, everybody look at me. Okay, everyone look at each other. And then I'll say, okay, now make out. And like everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's like this funny. And that's the photo that we're going for. It's this like, oh, the world, let's go crazy. So what I'm doing then is I've taken a photo of them with their spouse, and I've said, okay, look at me. Okay, look at each other. Okay, now give her a kiss. And then they kiss. And then I do the other couple. Okay, look at me, look at each other. Okay, now kiss. So then when they're together and I say, look at me, look at each other. Okay, now kiss. They're always like, ah, and it gives this very funny, like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard face that they're giving to each other. And it's just like, it feels very siblingy, very like, I got siblings. If you have siblings, if you've ever seen siblings, if you've ever seen a movie where there are siblings, you know what I'm talking about. Just like that very like stupid humor. So I was photographing two teenage girls, and I forgot that I'm not cool anymore. I'm not young. I don't even know if the kids say the word hip, but if they do, I'm not hip. And that I knew that my kid jokes weren't going to work with them because they were so reluctant. They did not want their photos taken. Like most teenage girls, they were not interested in this. They were really just doing it for their mom. And so when it was the sister shot, I knew I couldn't say what I would normally say to younger kids to elicit that response. So I was like, age up. And by the way, this is all happening very rapidly in my mind. So I'm like, okay, guys, can you put your arm around each other? And they're like, oh, okay, okay. And then I'm like, okay, don't say anything kiddish or they're definitely going to hate me. So I'm like, okay, look at each other. And they did. And then I was like, I can't do ugga mugga, which is what I do with toddlers because that's a Daniel Tiger thing where they rub their noses. That always works. I can't do it with these teenage girls. Oh my God. And so I'm like, there's no way they're going to touch foreheads, which I sometimes do with couples, forehead to forehead. Sometimes I'll do it with siblings that have a really tight bond, especially two sisters. Usually it's like such a sweet thing, a best friend photo. Anyway, so I just was like, look at each other, look at me. Okay, now make out. Ha 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 ha. And they did not go, ha 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 ha. They went, gross. And I immediately realized they're going to report me. They're going to report me to their parents. They're going to report me to their teachers. They're definitely going to laugh about me in the cafeteria with their friends because I just said the most awkward thing they have ever thought in their life, which is this concept of like kissing your gross teenage sister. Ew. This old photographer lady is so out of touch. This reminded me immediately, like full PTSD style, about this time like 2 years ago. We had a babysitter and I was like walking her out the door and I knew she was in college. So I was like 36 at the time, and we were chatting about music interests, and I said to her, well, we're the same age, right? Like I know you probably saw this movie I was referencing. But as soon as I said the words, we're the same age, she looked at me like I was quite possibly the stupidest person she had ever met. And in that moment, I realized I'm not 21 anymore. I am closer to this lady's parents' age than I am to her. And I'm using the term lady very politely, but loosely. And she knows that. She knows that I'm closer to her parents' age than I am to her, and that I don't know that about myself. So while I will tell you that I am the whisperer of reluctant spouses, that's like a little phrase I use because I always, always, always hear people say that after sessions. Oh, that wasn't so bad. The spouse will say that. The kiddos who thought that was terrible. Sometimes the teenagers will say, oh, that wasn't so bad. And that's a 10 out of 10. When you've got a reluctant family member who's like really, really not wanting to do this, that's what a review to give. These teenage girls, though, I promise you, they are not going to be leaving me 5 stars. They are not going to be giving me a positive review. And they're going to make sure everybody they meet knows that there is some creep named Kayla trolling around, trying to make really bad jokes about sisters kissing sisters. I did it, and I regret it.